Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stage Diving with Scotty. I have returning my second returning guest, and today it is Sterling. With I got Paul, I've got Robert, and I got Mark. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for
Hello.
having us.
Thanks.
So,
Yeah, thank you.
yes, guys, I'm so happy we're all together. You guys have a brand new EP. I'm just gonna jump right to it. You guys have a brand new EP. Keep Swimming. Your first EP was Sky, and how many were on that again? That was six.
That was 6 tracks.
Yeah, something like 5 or 6 tracks. Yeah.
6 tracks on Sky and 8 tracks on Keep Swimming.
Yeah.
And that was what, 2019?
2020.
I think,
Oh,
yeah.
was 2020? Okay. I apologize. And it's so funny then for me, the anticipation of listening to that EP until now hearing this one, it's so funny to be used to the sound. Remember last time we were talking about the sound, right, Paul? And to hear this one, and it's a little more clarity, and almost like you guys are developing your style even more, like you're honing in on your style. And I think that was very, very clear just from song one with 16. And just going, oh God, this is good. This is worth the wait. This was
Thanks.
totally worth the wait.
Yeah.
Great, thank
Nice.
you.
So I gotta ask, since so Mark, you are the newest one, right? Because you, Paul and Robert, you guys were the beginning, right?
Yeah, we started it. Yep.
Okay, and I have to admit, Mark, when you came in, I knew for me, I felt nervous for them because I knew they had a drummer that crapped out on them or something like that, and then you came in the picture and I was like, is this one gonna last? Or like that
Yeah,
girlfriend,
that
you're not
old
sure is
that
gonna
old
last.
drummer was an old, he was a
Yeah,
real
that guy sucked.
hullabaloo. That guy was awful. But no, actually, also that's actually a funny story because and I think this is how you guys met as well, Paul and Rob. But like, I ended up meeting Rob basically online, just like hey, we were trying to find a drummer.
Dating.
And,
It was a
I've been-
dating. Oh
I-
yeah, that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, we were. It was Tinder. Swiped him on Tinder, and anyway,
Very fitting.
so I ended up coming in, and I'm listening to the EP, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a drummer left or whatever. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna want me to just play the same stuff, or whatever. And I'm trying to find out online. I only see the two of these guys in like most of the Instagram stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, the guy that's singing is the guy who's playing the drums. Like, who is? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I show up, and of course it's fucking Rob. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear.
No,
or
you
not
can
on this.
cuss. I don't care. You can cuss.
Word. But anyway, it was fucking Rob, and and yeah, and so and they basically were like, hey, yeah, so the EP, we're glad you liked it. We're not really, we're basically writing completely new songs. We're not really trying, like, we'll play those, but like we're not really trying to do any of that. And so Rob actually was the old drummer, and he ended up switching over to guitar. I guess Paul and him, you guys had been writing for what, like the whole time, basically, right? Like,
Yeah, a while.
Yeah, so
like,
when Rob and I started the project, it was the two of us, and Rob had his drumming background from other bands, and we started a project kind of writing all the instruments. And then when we brought in another person to help us fulfill the sound, Rob was playing drums and singing during that project, and we had another person helping on guitar. So when that edge of the project ended, Rob and I continued to write, and it was a lot easier on strings. And that's where Rob and I decided to start the hunt for a drummer,
Yeah,
a permanent drummer.
because we just thought, I mean, at my point in my life, I was like, I had played guitar. I started on drums, and then I played guitar forever. And then I was like, I think I'll finish out my music career on drums and sit in the back as I get older. And then when that record was, over, we were like, I don't know, it just seems like make more sense if I just move back to guitar.
And when you're writing music too, if you play guitar too, it's not like you're going to be like, all right, like here, I mean, it does happen when you start with a drum beat or whatever, but it's much easier to just write on guitar. And that's what, I mean, even early on, they would send me a couple of, and it was stuff like on the Instagram videos of like you guys playing acoustic, and like, I mean, a lot of the songs, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I feel like a lot of the songs were like created like just on acoustics, like as far as like the actual core. But yeah, so
Well,
yeah, I mean,
we did.
so
Yeah,
anyway,
we jumped kind of off what Mark was saying. We definitely jumped to it was easier writing for us and kind of taking some of Rob's ideas and some of what I had. And I think Rob and I kind of wrote it in hopes that we'd find that permanent drummer. So we really tried to leave it open for the next person that came in to
like really open. Like we didn't even talk about drums. We wanted to see who would come in.
yeah,
And we were just
it was, you know,
waiting for the right person,
And
because he came in and he's like, well, what do you guys, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say that's what I thought was you guys had someone come in and it sounded like it was gonna be, it sounded possibly promising, and then he bailed or something. So I mean, I wasn't referring to you being the drummer that flaked.
We had gone through like 10 different drums, and we landed a guy who was pretty good, but being in a band together is ability, a music connection, and then just like friendship that like it just like works on all three levels. And
personal level.
yeah, the personal level didn't work with the guy, and I think I had just like met Mark online, and I was like, let's try him. And I kept telling Paul for months and months and months, I said, the right guy's gonna walk through the door, just like how we met. And he was getting frustrated, and I was like, oh man. And it was months. I mean, it was like 8 months that we were looking for somebody. And Mark walked through the door, and I was like, that's the dude. It was like day one. We were like, yep.
Was it just
Yeah,
the
I
looks,
think-
or was it give off of like a sexual vibe, or I mean, what was it?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
yeah.
Well,
I think,
we have a stupid ass sense of humor, this, and he just like he got our humor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
He just sits like Travis Barker in the back, though. He's not as stupid as we are, but he just nods. He's like, yeah, guys.
Is that how Travis sits? Is he doing?
you're laughing.
always
Either
kinda
way,
thought he was-
you're more clever than we are.
Well, hey,
I'd
we're
rather-
like those guys. We're just like Travis. We're all gonna run naked in this video, right? And just like we told him, hey, Mark, you can't be here today. We're gonna need you to be in a bathtub. And look at him, because he wasn't with us. He's not in the bathtub.
That's true. I gotta be honest. I don't know if you guys would have had a better luck finding a bathtub over there. Maybe before the building, before the factory got torn down, we could have found an old one there. But
What were we talking about?
Paul, I don't know if you heard me, but I swear to God, the second you abandon Mint Mobile, it's like the internet gods. Yeah.
Damn it, Ryan Reynolds.
Shameless plug on the Stage 7 with Scotty podcast.
You just set him
I
up.
love
to it.
that you have a frame of him. Oh my God. There's so many people who are probably going, what's the big deal?
Through him, all things are possible. That's all.
Well, it's those inside things that only certain people are gonna get. So I mean, I'm sure there's someone else that's probably peeing their pants as well.
If you watch us on Thursdays, then we are
We're sponsored by
officially
Mint Mobile.
unsponsored by Mint Mobile, and Ryan Reynolds has our back 100% on it.
We are
100.
officially unsponsored.
For now.
For now.
For now, yeah.
You're gonna get that call one day.
I was gonna say, I'll
Um,
also sell aviation gin or whatever else he's got going.
Yeah, that's right. Mark, with you coming in, so the songs that they sent you, was it just Sky, or was it actually acoustic recordings of the new stuff?
So I had listened to Sky on Spotify, I think, and I'd seen a couple of the videos on YouTube, like for I think Condor and 280, and so like I had listened to that a lot, and then Rob, I think, ended up, someone emailed me or texted me like a few like videos of acoustic recordings, and I ended up I would go downstairs. I've got like an electronic drum set at home, and you can like plug in, a digital input or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'll just plug that in. So at one point I just, was playing along to like the Sky EP. And then I remember Arms Dealer getting acoustic, and I think Will Communication getting acoustic, and just kind of like, just kind of messing around, playing with that. And then that was kind of what I got. It was, I mean, again, their videos, I'm pretty sure that were on the Instagram from some point in time. They might have been like lives and stuff, because I think, Paul, you get to save all those or whatever. But yeah, so it was kind of the acoustics of the new songs as like demos, and then Sky.
So what was your first impression? Like what kind of drew you in? What was did you just like, were you looking for something kind of like emo?
These guys sound attractive.
What?
These guys sound attractive.
Yeah,
That's what it was, man.
I will say that there was some part of it that was aesthetic, and I have come to realize that it's kind of Paul's like artistic. Yeah, you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you, Scotty? No, it's Paul kind of has like a very unique like visual style, I feel like, at least. It's kind of, and I think, Rob, you do as well. Like, you guys have talked about like kind of like a retro, like retro modern aesthetic, though. Like, it's like not, I don't know, it's just very unique. So like that part of me, I think, that was like, it was just nice to, for me, it was like, all right, like this is, a band I can get involved in that is not just guys trying to like record something in the garage. Like, I wanted to be able to play and, actually be a part of something more than just, like a, just like a not too serious kind of a side project or something. I do remember like after that first practice being like, all right, well, cool. The guys who I like, the two of like, it wasn't like one of the singers that I like, was like a big fan of, like, had left or anything too. So I mean, part of it was you guys did sound, you have some good sounding voices, it was part of it was the attraction element. But yeah, I just was a fan of Sky, and honestly too, I think for me, just like walking in and having day one and be like, all right, so you like Sky, but like, we're not really trying to have you just play that for me was like the last piece of like, I would like to play it. It's fun. I enjoy it. But like, I don't feel like I'm having to come in and be like, this is the direction that we want and we need from you. It was, very much like a, I don't know,
almost like
nice creative space.
Yeah, and an open, like a brand new way to like, this is who we are, this is who we were, and now you're coming in, and we're going to show you this is where we'd like to go, and now you're involved with this. Now you are a part of our journey, and this is exactly what
yes,
we're doing.
I'm on the wall. I'm apparently the employee of the month here. Yeah.
He's got his own parking space.
I do. It's not the one that has all the aluminum shards in it.
Yeah, that's mine.
Rob, so let me ask you, since I asked Paul when we first talked, what were some of the influences for you that kind of gave you sort of like, I don't know, your style of writing, from music to lyrics?
Yeah, my style of writing has been, I've always kind of like honed in on the what is it, kind of like mid to late 90s, early 2000s indie emo kind of stuff. I mean, when I was listening like everybody else to like grunge music and stuff, and then a friend of mine was like, oh man, you got to listen to these bands. I went and tried out for his band and just completely blew it. I'm playing like straight beats, and it was this mathy music. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, here's Braid, here's Raina Maria, Gage, Hoover, like all these cool bands. I was like, what? And it just changed my life. And then I discovered that whole music scene around town, and then just never looked back. And I played in some punk bands, old school punk, pop punk, but I always wanted to do this. And then when I started a band in 2002 and did that for most of my time, playing in that project. And then when that ended, I did a couple things, but then that's about when I met Paul. And we, when I met him, I had a knapsack on when I put out my little flyer, and he's like, he knew knapsack and Raina Maria. And I was like, yeah, we came like the first day that we jammed. It was like, I was like, dude, I want to do like old school, like indie emo punk, but like with a new twist of like, the post-hardcore, like some Taking Back Sunday and Paramore kind of stuff, and Thursday, and like, have a little bits of twist of that. And I'm a huge like At the Drive-In and Sparta fan.
Yes.
So I'm like, I want to do like some weird stuff tacked onto like old emo-y punk kind of stuff. And so we just said cool, and then out came what we came out with, and we're like, well, just some people are like, yeah, it sounds like this band, or what, you guys sound like this, and then we're like, cool, man.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different take. I mean, what was it the other day?
If it sounds good to you, we'll take it. Yeah.
I was gonna exactly. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, if it sounds like anything, that. But yeah, I think too, part of the just like that style too, Rob, it just like helps as a whole. Like, because we get to a point where like when we write new songs, it's like we don't feel limited to this is the genre or like the exact type of music we're trying to make, and that's where I think, like we each get to throw in our own little, like, I want to make this part. So,
well, my goal is like, what my goal is to have like, I guess like some of the biggest bands around, it's like the simplest songs that are still full. And that's what like I personally try to write, is like cool. I want every song to sound different, and then on top of that have like, simple parts. Like we write pretty simple stuff, and then you put it together, and it kind of comes and goes and makes it interesting.
Mark's drumming adds a total different element, because Mark's such a fantastic drummer. He adds this kind of what Rob and I always wanted, some more of that mathy element, with a lot more drums than I can put together in my head, and Mark brought that, and that adds that, like Rob said, that simple but creative sound. And I think that's what gives our songs kind of a different dynamic too, is that we bring in those influences, but we arrange them how we want to, how all three of us want to.
And we're not afraid to throw all it, like, simple, complicated, fast, slow, all the different pieces and parts, and we'll jam them right next to each other. That's whatever we think sounds cool,
Yeah. I know there was some where there's a little bit of a punk element in one of the songs, that, or at least it stood out more to me than some of the others.
Fall Guy, yeah.
There you go, it's Fall Guy. And then and you got some just straight good like rock with indie emo, kind of like 16, and was it the long?
Was that, you got the first two?
The long,
you got the first two?
Good
or Injured. Yeah.
but that's
what means of trip.
Like Arms Dealer was, it's weird because the songs on the record, like that one was probably the longest, or Injured, that we took to write. We took a long time writing those. Fall Guy, I told the guys, I said, we need a hit, we need to balance the record. So I went home, I wrote that song, and I came in and I was like, here guys, try some these, and they were like, dude, we're going in the studio coming up here in like 2 seconds. I was like, no, let's try this.
Yeah, I think we had that in a week.
We wrote it like, I think I wrote the body of that song in 15 minutes, and then we did it at practice and put it together in one practice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The vocals, I remember the vocals kind of fell into place as we went, but I remember we did it, and we were like, we had a show coming up in like 3 days or something, and we're like, I mean, feel pretty good about that. And I mean, we started writing it at the very end after we did everything else, and it like it came together quickly. And again, I think that's kind of like the nice thing. It's like all the songs that have been written kind of by all three of us, like I feel like, going forward too, like it's just it doesn't take much, just knowing what we want, and what we kind of want to go for, and what's going to be fun.
because, as Mark said, we all kind of knew what we want and where we are in our lives, what we can handle and what we can realistically accomplish. And we have a better thought out, I think, mentality of how we want to do things, that when I bring something to the table, or Mark brings something to the table, or Rob brings something to the table, it is pretty cool because very rarely are we not into each other's idea, which I don't know if other bands have that type of thing. I feel like a lot of ideas can get thrown out where we end up liking a lot. Like Rob said, he brought something that was, he knew we like punk, he knew we like something fast, and he knew what our band needed. That fast, that banger type song, as you said, that kind of more punk rock, that faster element. And he brought it to the table. And I think Mark and I were just very open to the idea because we like the ideas he brings. I think all three of us kind of weed out the crap. Yeah, we kind of weed out the crap before we bring it to practice, and we balance each other out on filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes Paul brings in ideas, and you know, we'll take this piece, you know, he's like, I got all these ideas, and then we'll take like a piece out of it. And that's where, like, what was a Will Communication was written off of a piece that he had, you know, and he's like, try this idea and try, you know, we worked it out. And it's like, so we'll bring ideas, but a lot of times, like, I'll just, you know, I don't know, back in the day, but we haven't, you know, started writing any. I think we're right about probably, I'm pretty excited to start working on writing some new stuff, but we've been just hitting these songs so hard for so long. It's like I'm pretty excited to like start some stuff new, but you know.
I think what was so cool and surprising to me was the little things that you guys add in there, like the little nuances and stuff. Like the harmonica, the harmonica in there. I love it. It was so subtle. It's like there was no, like, you know, oh, okay, this is cool. I like this little addition. And then like some of like the keys or even the synth on was it 16? It had a little bit of that in the chorus.
We all agreed that that's an element that we wanted, and me and Paul were like, we designated Mark. Mark was interested, and we're like, dude, we trust you, man. Like, start writing some pieces and parts. And he wrote like what 80 or 90% of like a lot of the kind of keyboardy, the spacey sounds and stuff. We kind of wrote sort of together, but like we sort of like
we went over like what we went over like what we wanted to add. Like it kind of was like, you know,
where
you know, like where do you want me to go with this? Because, you know, because I can go, and I think I remember I came in with like a bunch of like different layers and things like that, and it was like, you know, just kind of piecing together what we wanted. But some of that too, you know, was, I don't want to say it was like written in the studio, but like I know like the harmonica, Paul, like that was one where I feel like that's like a perfect example of like what you were just saying, where something like we'll bring in something, and then like, you know, you might be like, oh, I think this might sound good, but I'm worried that like maybe it doesn't, and like, you know, you kind of play it, and then we're like, no, that sounds awesome, and then like,
well, we wanted to tie back
studio
into
time.
The first record with that. I think was the idea with the harmonica. You know?
That was great for me. Well,
just start putting extra headphones. There you go, right at the beginning. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. So in regards to we actually wanted to talk about the video for the Long Goodbye. Right, it's a Long Goodbye.
Long Road
Home.
Dear God. Okay.
It can be. It could be a goodbye,
that,
or you know,
that
a
sounds better.
No, I like the Long Road Home. Oh my God. Is it Long Road
See,
Home?
the thing is, injured. We do say goodbye and injured at the end of it.
Maybe that's what I'm doing,
You
is
know.
I'm combining.
And injured is longer. Maybe that's what it is.
I
But
feel
yeah,
horrible.
the Long Road Home is the one that got the acoustic version.
Okay.
Which that also I think is has a pretty great story in and of itself too, as far as how the band's spontaneity can kind of like turn into something fun and good.
I think what's so cool is, Paul, when you were asking me for that little bit of just something from one of our talks, and how you finally combined everything that you've videoed and done throughout this whole time, and you combined it in that video for that song. That was really cool. It was really such a fun experience to see your, I know I overuse this word, but your journey through the past year of, you know, through the pandemic, for all the practices, to all the interviews, to the gigs, to all that kind of stuff. Within actually, what? No, that was all pretty much 2021 though, wasn't it? From that video.
Yeah, we did try to use only information, only clips from Sterling as the 3-piece as it is now.
Okay.
That's the way
For
Sterling
the
should be.
process of it, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wanted to
Yeah.
make that, and Rob can talk maybe a little bit more about, you know, his process and what the song's about to him. But for all of us, it's definitely a song for all of us about that journey, being in a band, and what we went through throughout the year in the band and outside of the band too. And so putting together, I think the band, at least for me, and I don't want to speak for these two, but is a really good outlet for some of the stuff that we have going on outside the band. So
Yeah.
we wanted to kind of use it as a celebration of, you know, all that we've done and what our hard work was. And we wanted to show people the little bit as it is. And Mark said to the kind of the lighter side of things, where Rob had the idea of the Journey video, and we all thought Long Road Home would be the right one to do it on. And really, Mark and Rob kind of took the reins and helped make it what it was.
Yeah,
That day you looked freaking cold.
dude, it was rough, man. It was warm, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this video, and we're gonna do it out, you know, we're gonna do it outside and stuff. And then all of a sudden, it was like this super cold day. It was drizzling and snowing,
Oh,
and
And
so
you gotta
we're
do
out there and
multiple
we're getting
takes.
wet at like right at that temperature. And you know, you see 2 seconds in the video, but we filmed for hours out there, you know, doing takes and all different stuff. And in the beginning of the video, like, I didn't really want to use that scene, but it was like the you know, it's supposed to be kind of funny, whatever. But I was freezing my ass off, so I'm like,
you
then
looked. That's what I mean. You
that
looked
clip
so
in the video.
cold.
I was like, fuck, man, it was rough, but it was fun.
And
you know?
it's Wisconsin, so the weather
Yeah.
here really, you can use your heater and your air conditioner in the same day. And it was definitely, like Rob said, one of those days where you woke up, there was no snow, it was sunny. By the time we all met up here, it was 20 degrees and
Dude.
pouring rain. And
we've got another video already in the can that's completely a spectrum different. So we're excited about sharing that one coming up. So we just thought of, like, you know, let's do something. We weren't planning on releasing that video first, but it just was done first. So
Yeah.
which we thought
Well,
was
and-
odd.
yeah.
We're like, but it is what it is.
Well, no,
you know,
it gave us something too with some of the delays we were running into with recording. We were like, look, you know what? We got Long Road. We got that was actually one of the first songs we got back from the studio. And it was kind of like, again, just like, I think once we made the video about the journey of like the record and everything, I don't know about you guys, but like when we put the video out, it was like, all right, like this is like, it is kicking out, it's teeing off the, you know, here's the journey. You're gonna get the end product soon. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's something so satisfying about that. Like not just the recording being done, but seeing something like a video that you created and put together and just seeing it finalized. You're just like, God, that feels good. It looks great. I'm happy with this. And I mean, you can always pick whatever, you know, pick at it for little, you know, technicalities or whatever. But in the end, you're sitting there and you go, man, that's pretty damn good. And I'm proud of that, you know, especially musically. Again, the EP,
All of
like,
Yeah.
but I mean, you guys have to be proud. I would think that you guys are very proud of Keep Swimming, because I mean, it really is fantastic, and it's good to hear. And I know I've bragged about you guys a lot, but I'm not ashamed of it at all, because I think it's so hard to find really good bands like that have that kind of sound. And I don't mean it in a nostalgic kind of way necessarily, but it's good to hear that in a way that it's still going on, if that makes sense. That there's still people that are still burning with that kind of sound in them.
We just had hope. We kind of had, like, I guess we just had hope that people would like it. We were doing it anyway. You know, we were going to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We hoped people liked it, and we had no idea that so many people would like it. I mean, we just did a show in Chicago, and we were like, we're playing with like pretty hardcore punk bands, and people really liked it. We were like, wow, like, all right, like, you know, every show is still a surprise to us, like, at least to me, that because it's all different groups. I mean, you have no idea. Like, some people like it because they're your friend or who, you know them, and that's a great record, man. But to hear honest opinions from people who've never, don't know you from anywhere,
Yeah, and don't even expect you to, like, they come in not knowing anything about you, you know, and you can kind of just get that genuine, like, you know, here's me playing a thing that I, you know, it helps me to play it, and I'm glad that made you feel any sort of way, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. Yeah,
That's a fun thing that I miss back playing live, is seeing the band, seeing these people, seeing them backstage, and then finally like and hearing like their name, so you know like the name of the band, and then you go on before them or you go on after them, whatever. But that moment where you're like, okay, is this band gonna blow me away? What's their sound? How are they gonna be? What's their presence like? What's the energy they bring? And they blow your freaking mind, and you're like, dude, we got to be friends. Sorry, Paul, you were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
Well, that's actually great that you just said that, because I'm gonna kind of steal Rob's thunder, because he always likes saying it. But one of the things, and that's one of the things that we really appreciated about Mark was too, is that we're also fans of music and the music scenes, not just, you know, the sound of music. We grew up in music scenes. Mark comes from out of state, and he brings, you know, the scene back with him. And we've always been appreciative of it, to the point where we go to shows and we make sure we stay for all the bands, and we want to talk to the bands, and we want to hear from them, and we want to be the nice people on the scene. I mean, you know, as long as they deserve it, and we hope we deserve to be nice too as well. And when you talk to that, you brought up the energy. When we go to a show like we just played in Chicago, you know, we try to talk to the other bands, meet them, even if they're totally diverse sounds.
Yep.
And even if they don't like our band or we don't like them, but you appreciate the people as a whole.
Yeah.
And the crowd feels that.
Yeah.
And when you have each other's backs, and it goes out to what you do, you know, with this. And that's, I think, one of the reasons we connected is, you know, you're obviously a music fan, but you appreciate the music scene. And that's part of what you're there for as well, as supporting that. And it's the people that watch your show and the people that go to shows just to be at a show and be in the energy that speaks volumes. And that's one of the big things that this band thrives off of, is that energy that other people allow us to engage with.
Yeah. Well, so is that recent video that you guys posted up on your Instagram? The one like like a red room? Was that the Chicago one? Dude, that looked insane. That looked like a lot of fun.
Dude, it was a lot of energy at that show. We'll put it that way. There was body passing and crazy mosh pits, and it was fun. Yeah,
that was good. And yeah, kind of like Rob was saying too, you know, you kind of come in, we didn't know too much about, it was our first show in Chicago. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know any of the other bands either. And so you get after, you know, the first few bands and you don't really know. And thankfully that show was actually like pretty diverse sound wise, but you know, like Rob was kind of, you know, getting at, you're like, you don't know how people are going to receive it, and to see like, you know, the energy there, and you're like, all right, are we going to get on and be like, all right, now the energy's gone, you know, like no one is like, everyone's actually out smoking cigarettes the whole time you're playing, you know, and
I'll say one thing. I mean, out of the whole show, we were the only band that you know, somebody had to leave in an ambulance. So I mean, it was a hardcore moment.
Oh no. What was it, from Heartbreak?
No, overheated. They were jumping around so much they overheated.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Rob was getting him a little too hot and bothered.
Yeah. We were just, you know.
It was the booty turn and the look.
There was.
And the guy was just like, someone call the fire department.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this as a shameless opportunity, just because we have it as an example. Is that show is at a place called the Art Hole in Chicago, and it was a DIY venue run by a guy named Sky, and all the bands that play there, and it seemed like all the people that came out, again, really appreciated that it was there. And it's clubs like that help bands like us and help other bands have a place to play. And when you can't get into the bigger venues, or the venues that are going to charge you for a ticket and make you jump through some hoops and do different things, you know, it's those DIY venues that help the music scene progress and move on.
It keeps the heart of the scene beating, I feel like. And like, I could tell at a place like that, like,
absolutely,
you know, where it's like, there's no advertising or anything like that. It's not a big place, and people are still showing up because they just want to hear some music and have fun.
All those people who were charging and all that, it's like, they're gone now. So now all these DIY things can come back, and like everybody can kind of have fun again. And, you know, after COVID now, it's like revitalizing, you know, all the people who are like,
it's a little bit of
excited are coming back, you know.
And those DIY venues are the same venues that, because of the kids that went there, when those clubs that, you know, the Save Our Stages movement, when those clubs are coming back, those are the kids that are going to help bring those back, because those are the kids that kept it alive on their own. And even like your show, you know, every time you do one of these interviews with bands, your show grows and your fan base grows. And those real people that watch it every time just to hear about bands are the same people that are really going to put effort into when they see our name, Sterling, when they see another band's name, they're going to do so much more promotion by word of mouth just because they saw us that one time than the people that might pay or just like a picture on Instagram without reading a caption because they don't really care about you. They just follow you.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you hate that though? Like when you post something up and someone just likes it and you're just like, you could respond as sort of a question there. I mean, there's an actual question there. I mean, like whether you participate or, you know, something, and you're just like, oh, you're just going through the motions of yep, like, come on, take a moment, read for God's sakes. I mean, I don't know. I'm a human being. I'm asking a question. I don't know. I almost went into my really bad Jerry Seinfeld. What's the problem? Sorry. I got
What's the deal with this?
What's the deal? But you guys, since you guys have been a three-piece and you guys been gigging, how the gigs have been going though? Like in just in general, like if you've been getting more and more better responses with each gig?
I've been like absolutely surprised. Every show has been just fantastic. We just keep meeting super awesome people. Like we played like one show where one band didn't really talk and they were just they're just you know. But other than that, like every band we've met have been just cool people, and it's been a fun time. And I mean, even our first show that we played was a little rough, and everybody was still cool. And we still play with like, you know, like it's how it goes. But yeah, it's just been a fantastic, you know. And when you play shows too, and then right away the bands invite you to do other shows, it's like kind of cool too. You know, you're like, we're doing something. Okay, you know, so But
now, have you guys been like talked to by anybody that's like, hey, I do pedals and stuff? Would you like to any kind of sort of hookups at all with anybody yet? No?
Just the tape.
No,
the tape deal.
no. But if anyone wants to,
I was gonna say
we can love anything. We can love and promote anything.
Boss pedals.
We can love and promote anything. Anything but right now, currently, we actually, a big shout out goes to Outcast Tape Infirmary. Outcast Tapes is a brand new DIY cassette kind of distribution label out of Madison, Wisconsin here. And we actually got in contact with them through a friend of mine, Matthew and Emblems, and Outcast Tapes took a liking to us. We hit it off really well. Their big thing is people over profit. And just like we were talking about before, it's a group that, you know, Bob from Outkast wanted to find artists that were just as willing to put into it whatever they want out of it. And being small time, you know, he's just helping us out with distribution. He's put Keep Swimming out on cassette. Also the acoustic version of Long Road Home out on credit card CDs. So for those that still
is that what that is?
Or you know, just like them for the aesthetic of it, he's putting it on us and helping us with just some marketing to get our band hopefully known and into some of those sponsorships or partnerships with other bands or labels or cell phone companies.
Or cell phone I keep breaking drumsticks recently. I don't know what that's about. So if ProMark wants to hit me up, I would take it.
Come on.
But right now we're just happy with Outcast Tapes just liking us enough to help promote and not just us, but help out some other local bands. So if anyone is interested, by all means, check out a great DIY label out of Madison with Outcast Tapes. But no, we're always open to partnerships and you know,
it's DIY and community sponsored. You know, it's that's so far. You know,
dude, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's gotta be. That's kind of fun. That tapes are coming back too. I mean, first it was vinyl, now it's tapes. I mean, I hope 8 tracks don't come back though.
For us, it keeps it interesting. You know, it's not like we didn't. It's not like we're doing you can only get the album on a cassette or something. It's just a nice, fun kind of. Again, it's a way to keep like the energy and the feeling alive. You know, where it's like, even if you don't sit there and listen to it all the time on tape, it's just like a thing you can hold and a little bit of nostalgia baked in, so.
With what Mark was saying about Rob earlier, that aesthetic that Rob has, that kind of old, again, Mark had a great way of describing it. I've told Rob it's like a weird 50s aesthetic that I get from like an Art Deco vibe sometimes, that vintagey feel. And Rob, Mark, and I have always talked about, opening CDs and reading the booklet and the lyrics and seeing pictures. And we have debates all the time. I think with this record and with Sky, we had discussions about, should we put it out in a physical form? Are people going to want it, need it? And we decided, no, again, just like the band, it's what we want to do. We want to bring, like Mark said, that other element, that nostalgic approach to being in a band, the pin, the patch, the CD, the artwork, the sticker. We want to give that. We want that package because I want that package. He wants that package.
Yeah.
This guy wants the package.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna isolate you saying I want the package. He wants the package.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep that for myself and frame you sometime.
For great package deals of all your package needs.
Mint Mobile.
Dude, what would you guys do if Ryan Reynolds actually like tagged you guys in a post or did a video so they could mentioned you guys or no,
I would. Yeah, I don't.
He's going to. What do you mean?
I was gonna say. I was gonna say I would support him by watching all of his films, starting with I'll burn the Green Lantern for him, and then I'll watch any of the other ones he wants.
I mean, we're using a Mint Mobile device right now, making this possible. So I mean,
Remember, Scotty, how you said, "Wow, it's so clear" when we first came on? That's due to this Mint Mobile phone that I'm on right now.
Did you notice like the slight fragrance of wintergreen by chance?
Please don't mention green around Ryan Reynolds.
Oh no.
Or lanterns.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, again, like even with the Ryan Reynolds stuff, it's just again the I don't know, the diversity and just having fun with it. And I think that's too part of the cassette release and all that. It's a fun thing, and it's a nice way for us to support someone else. And it's just a mutual it's kind of, music has always been like a community driven effort, and I think the last year or two it's kind of like really showing you who kind of, I don't want to say who wants it, but who is willing enough to kind of go back a little bit more to the old school square one. But they're getting extra minty on us.
We're just listening intently.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm with you, Mark. Hold on. But I want to segue over to something real quick that Paul and I were talking about on the phone the other day. Was you guys never hang out, and I find that mind-boggling that you guys connect as well as you do, and you don't hang out.
I mean, we hang out once in a while, but yeah.
We've other than getting true fact, other than getting food, we have never hung out.
I find that mind-boggling, but I get in a way I get it though.
And he's like, no.
I get nervous around you guys.
I am allergic to the sun, so
you just pass this along to everybody. Don't hang out. Just hang out at band practice, and then band will last forever.
If Mark and Rob knew who I actually was, they wouldn't like me. If they knew my personality, we wouldn't be in a band.
We're too busy swimming.
And speaking of, I gotta ask one more thing before we close this up, though. What is your? I'm gonna be very typical interviewer of this kind. What is your favorite track on the new album? Each one of you guys, which one's your favorite?
I don't want to go first.
None of them. I'm not proud of any of them.
It's really, God, it is. I can't imagine. I was gonna say for Rob, it's like asking him to pick, his like favorite dog or his favorite kid or something, because as someone who jumped in a little bit later, I'll throw it out there. I think Injured's probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think it changes every 2 weeks or so, maybe, depending on how I'm feeling. But Injured is one, at least for me personally.
I'll tell you, Shane, who recorded the record at Howell Street, Shane Hochstetler, he's super awesome. He liked Shy the most, which we thought was going to be the dud on the record. Oh, and he was all about that. He was all about that song. He's like, that should be your single. And we were like, so you never know.
That's the first song we typically cut out of the set if we have to.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But so my favorite song, I guess it would be Arms Dealer or Injured. Like, I mean, again, they're like Mark said, like I love them all because I, especially on this record, just dumped a lot into them.
Yeah.
But I mean, Fall Guy's a great song too. But it's but yeah, I don't know.
I definitely, on the record, I also like Injured the best. I think it's my favorite song. I like how it turned out the best on the record with everything. I think it brings in the most of all of our elements. I think it's a very diverse song with how dynamic it is, and it expresses a lot of us. For me personally, playing, I like 16. I have a different connection with the song 16, and every time I play it, it gets me to a little bit of a better place. So for me, those two on and off the record are my favorites.
Yeah, 16 playing is probably one of, like, to play.
Yeah.
Probably
well, I would
one
say
of my
yes.
favorites.
Yeah,
And
it's also for
Long
me
Road
one
Home
of
seems to be popular live. That's
Yeah. It's between the three of those. Those are like my, again, it changes all the time, but I
And
think
that's
to your
fine. I was
your
just
point, Paul, about having it be like a equal, like I think Injured for me is because again it was the one that felt the most like dynamic from a writing perspective, but each of us had unique additions to it. Everyone kind of had like, there are multiple parts of the song where like without each of the pieces, I think it doesn't sound nearly as good. And I think Injured is like the track that, like, if you take away literally any of our parts, it doesn't sound like nearly, and I mean that's obviously all of them with the three piece, but
I think what it kind of is too is on there. It's like, Will Communication was the first song that we wrote, me and Paul, and 16 was the first song I believe that the three of us really worked on together. And Injured was the second to last one, short of Fall Guy, which sort of just wrote itself super quick. So I mean, we put a lot of time into Injured, like a lot of time. That one was like we were working on for a couple months trying to finish that song and get it right. We kept changing stuff and changing it and working on it, but
so for the new stuff that you guys are going to start working on, do you guys feel like you're like a mutual, again, sort of like recipe thing where you bring in a little bit of everything, or do you guys have like did you have like Rob, do you have like the ideas first, pass them on to Paul, and then kind of just batter back and
what I usually a lot of times, I mean, we kind of talked about as a group that we all enjoy like 16, Injured, Fall Guy, like the later songs as far as like what we kind of think our sound is sort of going to be now.
Okay.
Like in that area. So, a lot of times me or Paul will just be at home and, whatever, and we'll bring something in. And a lot of times we might even like start jamming on something we brought in, which morphs into something else. We don't even play the thing that now we have something. And we've actually started jamming and written a couple little pieces that we haven't really like said, let's do this yet. But I think coming up here pretty quick, we've been so busy with, trying to get all these other things going with the videos. We've been shooting videos and we've been doing shows and promoting this and that. So I think coming up here pretty quick is when we're going to probably, for fun, because it's been so long, we've been playing the same songs, that we'll start like working on a new one,
messing around.
Yeah.
I think what Mark, Rob, and I have also talked about doing, and we'll put it out there. We won't say too much more other than we want to play maybe we want to find a unique way of taking on a cover song, just to have in our back pockets, and we're gonna make it something special. So. So look forward to maybe having something like that.
We've been debating. Every one of us has a different fun idea, and then the other ones are like,
I
so
feel like
of
even
these
just
days,
doing those is just a nice fun. Maybe that might be a nice way to just kind of like kick off some dust, and then like honestly, we might even start like being like, all right, let's cover this song. Halfway through, we're like, well, this sounds kind of cool, but let's just change this. And then by the end of it, it's like, oh, it's actually just a completely new song. We're not covering anything anymore.
Yeah.
based off a Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, I don't know. It's a challenge that I think kind of needs to. I think every band should take on. As much as I look down on it, I understand sort of its importance now.
Yeah, it
'Cause
puts you in a weird
it's
spot you have to like
fun.
work out of. Yeah.
Yes,
well,
it's
we're absolutely gonna change it. Like
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna play a song just like I can,
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Good.
yeah.
it's
Even
it's
Condor,
almost
we're covering our own song and it's totally different. You know?
yeah with the final three. Yeah. And I think too
Yeah.
that's kind of what we've decided is like whatever we do, we're gonna try and
Make it
take
your own.
our yes, like little Sterling imprint, whatever that means. But just to kind of just to have fun with it. And again, I think for me too, part of it is like it's a fun thing to do. If it's a song anyone recognizes, it's also could be fun live. But I mean, even just like creatively, like
Yeah.
again, like you were saying too, like just to try and like even if you're trying to go note for note or to do something completely different, it kind of puts you in like you already have a little bit of an outline to work with, so you just get rolling and you get the momentum. And for me and like us, I'm sure a little bit too, just like because we have been hammering in the same songs, it's just like really at this point breaking up kind of and getting back into that creative space is like in general, I think the key is to just have fun with it. And
Yeah.
that's definitely one way to potentially do it. I don't know, we
Well-
might just bust out some jams again and it'll be a year from now and we'll be like, Scotty, so that cover we were telling you about coming out in 2024.
That's okay.
But-
That's okay though.
It's like a
But-
flow thing though too that I'm hoping, because like when we're creative, when we start writing, it's kind of like you have to do it. And like lately I haven't at least felt that creative, but I've been like excited to like work on a cover as like our first step like away from this record.
Lost all
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be a little overwhelming though. I mean, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting to challenge yourself. But yeah,
Well,
No,
it gets the juices flowing.
yeah,
And
pretty much. I go.
both Rob, I was joking earlier, both Rob and Mark, they're nothing but creative energy. I mean, they bring it all the time, and it helps all the time, because if one of us gets down or bothered by something, I mean, they just said, I came to practice the other day and I just said, like, guys, I'm not having it. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
not in the good headspace. I'm just totally, I'm not here. And they picked it up. They picked it up for me and they brought me to a good place, and they're constantly full of energy. And even if it's not showing, it's flowing through veins. And those are the type of people that, I guess it's like any band, but that
Yeah.
creative energy that they have and that they bring was what worked really nice with us. And they've got tons of it, so much that it envelops into a picture frame.
I love it so much. It's just, I almost feel like you guys need to print me out one somewhere.
Oh, we've got one of you too.
we were joking that one day it's just going to be like at a show for like like $69 or some goofy number, and I'm just going to see someone like walking out with like this like
Oh,
picture of me, or like just like I just walk up to someone at the bar and they're just holding it and I'm like
Oh my god.
wearing the
It's
same
gonna be
thing.
like the Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The best part of that was that Rob, I think it was before Paul, I think you had hit traffic or something, and like Rob's like, I got this idea like for this upcoming video, like, here, just like stand over here above the wall, like just like real quick, and he just takes a picture, just completely like impromptu. First picture, only one, and then the next thing I know, he's got it like I'm like floating in the void, on this like panel wall, like
Oh.
it's just yeah, again, I think too that's just like Paul was saying, the creativity, and this is where again I think it goes in, it cycles, because even just that, it's just keeping it fun, and like whether it's not, maybe not musical, that but it's still creative. And yeah, I think too for us it's like it's something that we have fun with, and we always kind of hope that it's something that people pick up on. It's like,
Yeah.
it's we don't take ourselves seriously, and hopefully no one takes us seriously either. So
yes, it's very obvious. I love it.
but
Well, guys, I know we only have like 2 minutes left, but I can't thank you enough for your time as always. Yes, Ryan Reynolds, if you're watching, please, mint. Mobile.
Please mint us.
Please, there you go. Please mint us. I
Real
like that.
Can I get an Altoid or something? Or like, you know.
Sterling Mint.
But guys, I say Keep Swimming is one of my favorites so far this year, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. And if you guys ever get a chance to tour over towards California and Northern California, I will drop everything and go see you no matter what. So
We might do it. I
We,
don't know.
we might do it. We want to play with a band out there. What's the name? The Spacing Effect. If we ever get out, we're looking to play with them at some point when we get out into like the Sacramento area.
yeah.
So if you know how to hook us up with them, let us know. That'd be great.
We need a drummer, Mark. So
Hey, that's not fair. I got 2 of them. Like what?
oh yeah, you're
I'm
Yeah, Paul is
screwed.
hoarding.
emo
One of 'em.
Slipknot.
I can hook on one of them, 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take the clown that'll play the drum, the beer kegs.
Yeah.
Paul is hoarding all of the drummers.
I've got all the drummers. If Milwaukee needs a drummer,
There
if
you
I don't
go.
have them live in person, I've got them in framed format. Every Milwaukee drummer.
I've got him in frames.
All right. I'm sorry. We got less than a minute. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. I love you guys. I can't wait to see more of you. And everybody follow them on the socials. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. And I will definitely be talking to you later. All right.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Scotty. Thanks for all
Thank
you
you.
do.
Yes.
Stage time
Thank
with
you.
Scotty. Thank you so much for having us out.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
guys.
See you on Thursday.
Yeah. See you on Thursdays. Bye, Rob.
Bye.